More and more testimony corroborating then President Trump wanted to go to the Capitol after his rally on January 6th, including testimony from retired D.C. Metropolitan Police Sergeant Mark Robinson, who was in Trump's motorcade that day. Robinson testified that the Secret Service agent responsible for the motorcade said that Trump had a heated discussion with his detail about going to the Capitol. And there he is, Sergeant Mark Robinson. He's here with me now. This is his first time speaking out on CNN. But first, I just have a reminder for you. This is his key testimony to the January 6th committee. Watch this.
Was there any description of what was occurring in the car?
No, the only description I received was that the president was upset and that he was adamant about going to the Capitol, and there was a heated discussion about that. So at the end of the speech, we do know that while inside the limo, the president was still adamant about going to the Capitol. That's being relayed to me by the TS agent. And so we did part the ellipse and we responded back to the White House. However, the motorcade, the protest motorcade, was placed on standby.
Sergeant, good evening. Thanks for joining.
Good evening, Don. Thank you.
Tell us more about how you learned the then president was adamant about going to the Capitol.
Well, I mean, it's constant. The communication comes directly from the Secret Service agent and to the lead officer in the car. So you're constantly, concerned about the movements, of the president. So you need to know, and that communication is coming directly from the agent.
Mm-hmm. What was conveyed to you? How insistent was he about going?
Well, I mean, we've heard it several times while I was on the motorcade. I think during the speech, shortly thereafter, he had finished the speech, that the president was getting into the motorcade and he was upset and he, adamantly wanted to go to the Capitol. And even when we departed from the ellipse, it was repeated again that the president, it was a heated argument in the limo and he wanted to definitely go to the Capitol. So when we arrived at the White House, the motorcade was placed on standby.
Mm-hmm. So how did that, as we say in the vernacular now, how did that hit with you guys on that day?
I mean, for me, I really didn't know what was, what was actually happening outside the ellipse. I could hear, transmissions from the radio that, large crowds were going up to the Capitol, but I didn't know exactly what was happening. So for me, to know that there are armed subjects outside, to know that there are large crowds responding, that was alarming because, one, we weren't prepared to do that. Normally, when you move a presidential motorcade, you have a secure route. So we didn't have sufficient personnel to do that. So we weren't comfortable with that move.
Yeah, were you saying, what on earth does he want to go back to the Capitol? Was that what you guys were thinking?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, now knowing what actually happened, that would have been horrible. Had, the motorcade responded, to the Capitol, I think it would have been just far worse.
This is pretty bad. You think that, far worse, how so? You mean lives possibly?
Meaning that, I think it would have, probably encouraged more rioting, and I felt supported, if the presidential motorcade came in support of them. So I think the insurrectionists probably would have felt as though they had the support of the president.
Mm-hmm. What did you say? You said that you had been in over 100 motorcades with Trump before, but never heard anything like that ever.
Well, it's not necessarily 100 motorcades with President Trump. So I've been in the motorcade since 2011.
You just
so
mean in
several,
general?
In
right.
general, over 100. So I'm sorry, what was your question, Don?
Yeah, I said you had been in over 100 motorcades, and nothing like that had ever happened.
Right. So, I mean, when a president is moving, in my experience, if a president is going to a destination, we go. And there are some moves that just pop up along the way, but it's always communicated, it's always worked out, and we go. I've never experienced, when the president wants to go somewhere and there's a heated argument and dispute and a debate of whether or not the president can go somewhere, and then we actually don't go. I've never had that experience before.
Yeah. There's been this, sort of whole false narrative out there about no one was armed. There were no firearms in the crowd of people who were out there. You mentioned that you heard over the radio that people in that crowd had weapons. I mean, wouldn't a president be removed immediately from any situation where there are individuals with weapons nearby?
I believe the Secret Service were comfortable, meaning that they, they had their security and they had the protection, they have, party routes and they have security measures in place to keep the president safe. I can hear, over the police radio that armed subjects are armed. I can hear officers responding, to that, and there's video footage to support that, which was played, during the testimony as well.
What do you, I guess, I'm asking you to, let's put it this way. With the experience that you have, why do you think someone would want to go into what appeared to be danger on that day?
I can't imagine anyone, especially in that position, wanting to go to the Capitol. If you're talking about the president, I just couldn't imagine someone wanting to go to the Capitol under those conditions.
Yeah. So despite all of that, him wanting to go to the Capitol, the motorcade, take us inside. The motorcade wanted to go back to the White House. How was that decision made, Sergeant?
It's always made through the Secret Service, and so through their, their managers and their supervisors, and so they are formed, the lead agent. They'll form the TS agent, who will inform the lead car. That would be myself, and so we inform the motorcade, whether or not, because we have to be prepared, whether or not a movement is going to be made. So we have to prepare for that, to secure a route, to actually get there and to get back, and to protect the safe.
And then the standby, were you like, wait, what? Now we're on standby to possibly go back into danger?
I mean, I'm just so thankful that it did not happen. And so I didn't, had we made that move, I thought it would have been an insane movement. And I think the sentiment was felt even with the Secret Service. Mm-hmm. They weren't prepared for that. And so I'm just glad that it did not occur.
Yeah. Did you feel pressure over coming forward? Or are you worried about the threats for sharing what actually happened, the truth about what happened on that day?
No. I mean, the truth is the truth, so I don't have any pressure about it. Whether I was still employed, while I was still working, I mean, we are called upon sometimes to give testimony. And so my experience is to tell the truth, to tell what actually happened. So I'm not ashamed of that.
Sergeant Mark Robinson, I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you're safe. And thank you for protecting American democracy and for speaking out, speaking the truth. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Don.